In this video and next video, we are going to look into job validation policy. So when the job validation policy is applied to the API instance of type basic endpoint or proxy endpoint, then the client application is supposed to send the job token along with the request. If the job token gets validated by the job validation policy, then the request is forwarded to the API for processing. So how does this JWT token looks like? So JSON Web Token, that is JWT token, has this structure: 3 base 64 URL encoded strings separated by dots. So the first string represents the header, the second string represents the body, and the third string represents the signature. So this JWT token is a self-contained token which has all the required information and it is digitally signed. So let's go to jwt.io. Here, if you go down, we will see a debugger, encoded and decoded sections. So here we can paste our JWT token and we can see that in the decoded format. You can already see that there is a JWT token over here, an example JWT token. And as I told you, these are 3 strings separated by dots. Okay. So this portion represents the header. As you can see, the JSON over here in the header section with algorithm and type. And this represents the payload. And here you can see the payload. And then this one, the last string, represents the signature over here. Okay. So now here in the payload, you will see subject, name, and issue date. These are some of the claims. Remember that they are known as claims. And these are the values of these claims. Okay. So now the client application has to first get JWT token from some server, and then the client application is going to send this JWT token with the request to the API. So the client application has to get it from some server. In this video, we are going to get the access token, which is in the form of JWT token from the Okta authorization server. Okay. So we are going to use OAuth 2.0 client credentials grant type, and the client application will get registered with the Okta authorization server and it will have the client credentials. So the client application is going to send the client ID and client secret to the token endpoint of the OAuth authorization server, that is the Okta authorization server, and it will get the access token back. This access token will be in the form of JWT token. Then the client application is going to send the request with this access token to the API. This API is deployed in the resource server. Resource servers in this case is either our Cloud Hub worker or on the on-premises server, our API, where our API implementation is deployed. The API instance will have the JWT validation policy applied, and it is going to check this JWT token. And if it gets validated, API will do the processing and return the response back. Okay. So now let's go to Okta and let's do the registration of a client application over there. So we will go to Okta, developer.okta.com. Please sign up over here. And once you have signed up, sign in. So I am going to sign in with my Google account. So once I get signed in, I will create an application over here. So at the left hand side, you can see the menu. So I'll click on the applications over here and then I'll click applications under it. And here I am going to click on create app integration. Then the last radio button, I am going to select API services, which is for interacting with Okta APIs using the scoped OAuth 2.0 access tokens for machine-to-machine authentication. So I'll select this radio button and click on next. Then I am going to create an application and my application name will be Top Investment App. I'll tell you the use case. But for now, just understand the application name is Top Investment App, and I'm going to click on Save. So my application is saved over here and I have the client credentials. This is my client ID. So I'll copy it from here and paste it in my document. And I'll go back again. And I am going to copy the secret also. And I'll paste it over here. Fine. So I've copy pasted the client ID and client secret. Now let's go to our security section. And here, if you will go down, we will find API over here. Here we can see the authorization servers. This is the default authorization server of our Okta. If we want, we can create our own authorization server. And while creating the authorization server, we can specify our own audience, the audience which we would like to have. Okay. So by default, it has API colon default for the default authorization server. So now let's click on this default authorization server. And these are the settings. And if I click on the scopes now, I would like to show you that I have created two scopes over here, get underscore scope and post underscore scope. So you can create a scope for this authorization server just by clicking on this add scope button, specify name, display description, and if there is any other requirement you have, you can select accordingly and create the scope. So I have created these two scopes. Now let's go back to the settings page. And here we can see the metadata URI from where we can get all the information. So I'll click on this. And here you can see the token endpoint. See, this is the authorization endpoint. This is the token endpoint. We need token endpoint. So I'll copy the token endpoint from here. And I'm going to paste it over here. From the token endpoint, we will get the JOT token, which is our access token. Okay. And we also need one more URI, JWKS URI. What is the significance of this URI? I will tell you later. But as of now, I'm copying it. And I am going to paste it over here. Fine. So we have the client application register. I have shown you that for the authorization server, what are the scopes? Fine. So now let's go ahead. And let me tell you about the JOT validation policy. So when we apply the JOT validation policy, how will the JOT validation policy validate the token? So it is going to assert the value of the claims. I have told you that we have claims over here. If we go back to our jot.io, you can see in the payload, we have claims, right? Name, I at, issued at, subject, and there could be other claims as well. So it validates the claims as per our configuration in our JOT validation policy, and it is also going to validate the signature. Okay, so if the values of the claims are asserted successfully and the signature is validated, then the token is considered valid. Okay, and let's talk about the signature of the token. So the token is signed either through RSA or H1. These are the two algorithms which can be used for signing the token. So the key, the signing key is JSON W key. This is our cryptographic key in the JSON format. And JWKS, that is JSON Web Key Set, is set of keys. So in our case, we are going to use RSA algorithm. So let's say our token is signed by the private key. Then the public key is used to verify the signature of that token. So we use the JWKS URI and we configure that in our JOT validation policy. And it uses that URI to get that public key to verify the signature of the token. Okay. So now you understand what was the significance of this JWKS URI. Now, in the next video, we are going to apply the JOT validation policy to our API instance. So see you in next video. Thank you.